Hello guys, this is Real Recaps. In this video, I will talk about a 2025 American romantic comedy slasher film, Hard Eyes. Before we start, I hope you will like and subscribe to the channel. The movie opens at a winery in Seattle, where a young couple, Patrick and Adeline, are enjoying a romantic evening together. Patrick takes Adeline by surprise with an unexpected marriage proposal. Overcome with happiness, she excitedly says yes. However, in the midst of their joyous moment, Patrick receives a call from his photographer, Nico, who regretfully informs him that he failed to capture the proposal. Although frustrated, Patrick is determined to recreate the moment to get the perfect shot. As Nico prepares his equipment, he is suddenly and violently attacked, stabbed straight through the face, by a masked killer known as Hard Eyes. Completely unaware of the horror occurring nearby, Patrick and Adeline continue celebrating their engagement, oblivious to the looming danger. But their happiness is short-lived. While answering a phone call, Patrick is suddenly struck by an arrow straight through his head, killing him instantly. Adeline, frozen in horror, lets out a terrified scream before instinctively running for her life. As she flees, Hard Eyes fires several arrows in her direction, barely missing her. Desperate to escape, she finds temporary shelter, but a call unexpectedly rings from her phone. It's the killer. In a panic, she screams at him, unintentionally revealing her location. Seizing the opportunity, Hard Eyes shoots an arrow into her foot, wounding her and slowing her down. Adeline stumbles into the facility, where she witnesses the masked murderer brutally taking the life of a security guard. Terrified, she keeps running, desperately searching for safety. However, her luck eventually runs out. As she attempts to hide, Hard Eyes finds her, traps her inside a massive grape press machine, and mercilessly crushes her to death. Weeks later, news of Hard Eyes' gruesome killing spreads rapidly, with authorities warning the public to remain cautious. The murderer has a history of terrorizing cities like Boston, specifically targeting couples on Valentine's Day. Meanwhile, at a nearby coffee shop, advertising designer Ally McCabe is having coffee with her best friend and coworker, Monica. As they prepare to leave, Ally crosses paths with a charming stranger named Jay Simmons. They strike up a casual conversation after realizing they ordered the same coffee. However, things take an awkward turn when they accidentally bump heads twice. The situation worsens when Ally unintentionally gives Jay a bloody nose. Embarrassed by her clumsiness, she quickly rushes off to work. As she leaves, Jay overhears a news report about Hard Eyes and the police urging couples to stay indoors on Valentine's Day. At work, Ally finds herself in trouble with her boss, Crystal Kane, for pitching a controversial perfume ad featuring the famously doomed lovers, Romeo and Juliet. Given the ongoing horror surrounding Hard Eyes, the timing of the advertisement is considered insensitive and inappropriate. In an effort to fix the PR disaster, Crystal introduces Jay, who has just been hired to handle the situation. Meanwhile, the city remains on high alert. Detectives Zeke Hobbs and Janine Shaw arrive at the winery to investigate the brutal murders of Patrick and Adeline. As they analyze the crime scene, they uncover a wedding ring inside the grape press machine where Adeline was killed. Shaw begins to suspect that these murders are more than just random acts of violence. Hard Eyes appears to follow a twisted, ritualistic pattern in selecting and killing his victims. Back at the office, Ally confronts Crystal for publicly humiliating her in front of their colleagues. Afterward, she steps outside to clear her head but is interrupted by Jay, who invites her to dinner strictly for work-related reasons. Initially hesitant, Ally eventually agrees. Later, Monica takes Ally shopping for a new outfit, and over dinner, they discuss Ally's habit of stalking her ex-boyfriend online. Monica finds it strange, but Ally insists she is just surprised at how quickly he moved on. She also tells Monica about her upcoming dinner with Jay, which excites Monica enough to convince Ally to get a fresh look for the occasion. That evening, Ally arrives at a restaurant to meet Jay. Upon entering, security scans her for weapons, signaling the heightened precautions taken due to Hard Eyes' killing spree. When Jay arrives, their conversation turns to love. He expresses his belief in romance and finding the right person, while Ally remains cynical and bitter, still heartbroken over her ex. Seeing him flaunt his new relationship all over social media has only made things worse. The conversation becomes tense, leading to an uncomfortable moment that ruins the night. Frustrated, Jay decides to leave, but realizing she may have been too harsh, Ally rushes after him to apologize. On impulse, she grabs him and kisses him right at the moment she spots her ex, Colin, with his new girlfriend, Sienna, entering the restaurant. Thinking fast, Ally pretends she and Jay are in a relationship. As they make small talk, Colin and Sienna mention they were supposed to go on a double date with Patrick and Adeline, completely unaware of their tragic fate. Meanwhile, lurking in the distance, Hard Eyes watches them closely. Ally and Jay share a ride home. Upon reaching her apartment, she realizes she has lost her keys. Their driver, trying to be helpful, encourages Jay to ask Ally out, which seems to give him confidence. However, before he can make a move, he learns about her missing keys and offers to help. Jay smashes a window to get inside but accidentally cuts his hand in the process. Feeling responsible, Ally invites him in to treat his injury. As she cleans and bandages Jay's wound, their conversation turns deeper. Ally opens up about her past and why she dropped out of school. The moment between them grows intimate. However, as she moves to put some personal belongings away in her closet, her heart stops. Hard Eyes is already inside, waiting in the shadows. Before she can react, the killer lunges at her. Jay quickly fights back, narrowly avoiding being stabbed. In a desperate attempt to escape, Ally smashes a lamp over the killer's head, creating an opening for them to run. They lock the door behind them, but Hard Eyes is relentless. He stabs his knife through the door and then turns his attention to the driver outside, brutally murdering him. In the midst of the chaos, she shouts that she and Jay are not actually together and barely know each other. But the killer doesn't believe them. With no other choice, Ally and Jay flee, running toward a nearby park. Just as they think they've lost him, Hard Eyes reappears and knocks Jay unconscious. Ally, now completely alone, dashes toward a carousel, desperately searching for a way to escape. The masked killer quickly catches up, grabbing her, but she manages to kick him off, giving herself just enough time to flee. As she stumbles away, the blaring sound of sirens fills the air. The police have arrived. Detective Hobbs announces that Hard Eyes has been captured. Although shaken, Ally feels relieved as she finds Jay inside the back of a police car. However, the situation takes a shocking turn when Hobbs and Shaw wrongly assume Jay is actually Hard Eyes. They claim to have discovered evidence linking him to the murders, but Ally refuses to accept it. At the police station, detectives interrogate Jay, accusing him of being responsible for multiple killings. Frustrated and irritated, Jay adamantly insists he is innocent. Meanwhile, outside the station, Ally encounters David, an IT technician who recognizes her from the Bumble dating app. Unaware of the horrifying ordeal she has just survived, David flirts with her, but she quickly shuts him down, saying that it's really not the best time, given that she was just hunted by a serial killer. As David walks away, he casually suggests that she should celebrate since Hard Eyes has been caught, but Ally remains unconvinced. Growing more anxious, she attempts to locate the station clerk for answers but finds nothing. Feeling increasingly uneasy, she grabs an American flagpole, arming herself just in case the real killer is still out there. Just then, Shaw and the station clerk appear, noticing Ally clutching the flagpole for protection. The clerk gently takes it from her, trying to calm her down, while Shaw engages her in conversation. Before they can fully process the moment, the entire station is suddenly plunged into darkness as the power goes out. Shaw steps away to investigate the outage, leaving Ally alone with the clerk. Moments later, a blood-curdling scream echoes through the darkness. Hard Eyes has struck again, brutally murdering the clerk with the very flagpole Ally had been holding earlier. Panic overtakes Ally as she bolts from the room. The police station has become a hunting ground, and Hard Eyes seems to have no difficulty navigating in the dark. As the detectives rush in to confront him, they are hopelessly outmatched. Shaw is knocked unconscious, while Hobbs suffers a gruesome fate. Hard Eyes slashes him open with a machete before finishing him off. With both officers down, the masked killer turns his focus to Jay, who remains chained up in the interrogation room. Just as Hard Eyes is about to strike, Ally arrives just in time to free Jay from his restraints. The two barely manage to escape outside when a speeding vehicle suddenly hurtles toward Ally, attempting to run her over. Jay reacts quickly, shoving her out of harm's way, saving her life. With no time to catch their breath, they sprint away as Hard Eyes relentlessly pursues them. They soon find themselves in a park filled with happy couples, the perfect hunting ground for the killer. Before they can warn anyone, Hard Eyes slaughters a young man directly in his path. Desperate for a hiding spot, Ally and Jay duck into a parked van, only to find it already occupied by a couple engaging in an intimate roleplay. The couple, oblivious to the real danger lurking outside, assumes Ally and Jay are simply playing along. As their voices grow louder, they unwittingly attract Hard Eyes, who mercilessly kills them both by ramming a tire iron through their mouths. This sends the park into chaos as people scream and flee in terror. Realizing that simply running won't save them, Ally and Jay decide to take a stand. Hard Eyes will not stop until they are dead, leaving them no choice but to fight back. Arming themselves with the tire iron, they prepare for a brutal confrontation. The battle as vicious ally smashes the killer over the head with a propane tank, but Hard Ice recovers quickly, grabbing her by the throat. Just as he is about to strangle her, Jay drives a machete deep into his chest, finally bringing the masked murderer down. As the adrenaline fades, Ally, overwhelmed by the ordeal, vomits onto Hard Eye's lifeless body, unable to stomach the sight of so much blood. Jay hesitates before pulling off the killer's mask, revealing an unfamiliar face, just some random man named Eli. Moments later, emergency responders arrive to treat Ally and Jay. Before parting ways, Jay gives Ally his phone number in case she ever wants to talk. Meanwhile, Shaw, who has regained consciousness, offers Jay a ride to the airport since he has a friend's wedding to attend. Ally returns home, but something about the atmosphere feels unsettling. Later that night, she calls her best friend Monica, admitting that she regrets not pursuing Jay sooner. She realizes that she is beginning to develop genuine feelings for him. Monica encourages her to go after him before it is too late. Motivated, Ally rushes to the airport, desperately calling out Jay's name as she searches for him. But he is nowhere to be found. Then, her phone suddenly rings an unknown number. Hesitating for a moment, she answers the call. A chilling voice speaks on the other end, it's Hard Eyes. He is still alive, and he has Jay. The voice taunts her, delivering an ultimatum: if she wants Jay back, she must meet him at the chapel, or Jay will die. Determined, Ally arrives at the chapel, where she finds both Jay and Hard Eyes waiting for her. In a shocking revelation, Hard Eyes is unmasked. It is David, the IT guy. But he is not working alone. His partner in crime is none other than Detective Shaw. The twisted duo derives pleasure from hunting and killing couples. Eli, the so-called Hard Eyes killer, was nothing more than an imitator trying to join their sadistic game. David forces Ally to make a horrifying choice: take her own life or kill Jay. However, Ally outsmarts them. She fires a shot at Jay's shoulder, ensuring that the bullet also strikes Shaw. Enraged, David lunges at them, but Jay retaliates, driving an arrow straight through his eye, sending him crashing into the flames. Meanwhile, Ally faces off against Shaw, stabbing her with a metal straw before finishing her off by impaling her on the St. Valentine statue's sword. David, making one final desperate attempt to kill them, is swiftly taken down when Jay fires another arrow at him, ensuring that the nightmare is finally over. A year later, Ally and Jay are not only alive but thriving. Their advertising campaign is a massive success, and they are now a couple. They revisit the same drive-in where they once fought for their lives. During their conversation, Jay suggests they move in together, but Ally takes it a step further. She proposes to him. Jay joyfully accepts, and they share a kiss. As the credits roll, Ally receives a mysterious phone call. She hesitates before answering, only to hear Monica's voice on the other end. Monica has been hired to photograph the proposal. However, before their conversation can continue, the call suddenly cuts off. The end. Thanks for watching.